hear what you've been through, and a huge testimonial for e-women. So tell us how that's really propelled you in your business.
I think one of the things is everybody, I think, needs a focal point or a center of focus. And whatever I do, all of my company names, they have my daughter's name in it. You know, my publishing company is House of Madison. I recently launched a new consulting company that's Madison Brothers. And I'm so excited that my daughter always laughs. She's like, Mommy, why do you keep using my name? She's the reason why I work. You know, she keeps me grounded. She keeps me focused. You know, and when you become a mother, I'm sure, as you know, Bella, you realize how selfish you are, because all of a sudden this time that you had for what you wanted to do, all of a sudden gets poured into this new little being, this new little adult, and so you have to refocus. And so she keeps me focused, she keeps me grounded, and she keeps me going forward. She provides a tremendous amount of energy and strength and inspiration for me.
Well, I want to back up a minute, because I think we're getting, you know, really a good picture of where you were, where you are. I mean, my goodness, you've got, I think I heard 2 or 3 businesses and written a book, and who knows, you may publish another one at some point in time. But now let's go back into the middle again.
Okay.
What was the turning point? What did you grab a hold of besides that precious little Madison that really had you make that change and shift out of the depression? How did you do that?
No, I think it was the connection that I had with her, the love of my husband and my parents, and the realization that, you know what, I had to realize that I could, and that I could do it without the medication. And I'm by no means a doctor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but I just made a conscious decision to do what I needed to do to make sure that I became well. Because one of the things that I realized is that we had family members and friends who had been addicted or on medication for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And I never even knew about it. I just found out about it when I was taking my medication. And I think the fear of having to depend on medication for the rest of my life, coupled with the love of my family and wanting to be a mother for my daughter, were the 3 things that said, you know what, you have enough fight in you, you can do it, you are a winner, you can win, and you will win. And I just started telling myself that I was better. Even when I wasn't, I remember my grandmother would ask me, Nikki, have you taken your medicine? And I would lie and tell her yes, but the truth of the matter is that I was flushing it down the toilet. So with each passing day and every flush, I gained more strength, and I took a little bit more of my life back with every pill that I flushed down the toilet.
So you were doing that at home, or were you doing that in the hospital?
No, I did that once I came home.
When you came
No, there's no way. No, they stood right over you. I mean, that was prison. I mean, there was no way. I mean, I think they checked my mouth. No, they stood right over you. You had to swallow. There were no tricks there. I mean, you had to swallow and open your mouth.
Yeah. So, one of our listeners has a puppy dog. So, welcome to our show, Puppy Dog. So now, let's talk a minute to what you can hand off to the listeners. I mean, every one of us has either known someone or maybe even experienced that tragedy, that sense of out of control in the depths of some form of or different degrees of depression. We at least know somebody. So what can you tell them, get on the call now, 3 to 5 things that really, you know, there are things that you want people to do and say, and there are things that maybe you don't want them to say when you're going through that. Can you give us some insight on how a person can really express their needs in that place, and then maybe speak even to the family members of giving them some insight on the best way to interact with their family, because you obviously had an incredible support system.
Right. And you know what, Melanie, I not to start on a negative note, but I think one of the worst things that people can say if someone is dealing with, whether it's depression or miscarriage or infertility or any type of loss, is to say, I understand how you feel. Because the moment you say that, when you're in that situation, because you're trying to express how you feel and you really don't know, you immediately become defensive, and it becomes totally counterproductive. I think the thing to do and to say is whatever you remember that that person knew or loved before they got sick, is to remind them of those things. I can recall being in the hospital and looking at my father and my husband and my mother, and they were all there in tears. And I was looking at them and I'm saying, "Why are you crying? Why are you crying?" And they said, "We're crying because you're not well." And I'm like, "No, I'm fine." And so I'm in and out, and some kind of way the conversation led to all my dad says is, "Nikki, I just want you to come home so that I can take you shopping. I know you love to shop. We can go wherever you want to go and buy whatever you want to buy." And it seems materialistic, but that was something that I always loved to do. I like to wear nice clothes and I like to shop. But that gave me something to hold on to. So if it's someone who likes to play tennis, say, "You know what, I can't wait for us to be able to play tennis again. I can't wait for us to play golf again. Or I can't wait to go exercise again, or yoga," or whatever it is that person loves to do. If you remind them of the happy times and the things they enjoyed before that time, I think that's something that's really crucial. I remember my family. Bethany? Melanie?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
That's okay. Another one of the things that I remember that my family, my husband would talk to me about was traveling, because I used to love to travel and go on vacation. And so they would share with me some of the places we had gone and what we had done, and try to ask if I remember it. And most of the time, I wouldn't even remember. But just that thought, it seems like something would resonate in my spirit when I went to bed at night, and I would have a memory that I could connect with as well.
Well, I think one of the really important things you're saying about all of this is you're really asking people to bring the pleasurable moments back to their loved one that's ill, or even to themselves, so that there's a desire and a sense of urgency and desire to get back to life, right?
Yes, yes. I mean, it is so important. You would not believe how much that can help. Instead of focusing on where they are and the problem, remember the good times and where you want them to be.
Right.
You are better. You are better. You are well. We are going to do this. We can do this.
Yeah. So I think those are some really important key points. Because when somebody says, "Yeah, I know what you're going through," if they haven't been through exactly the same thing, and even at that point, it's not their own experience. So I can hear where that would send up the red flag or the upset between you and your family members, and really be counterproductive rather than supportive. So I think it's a very important point you brought out. So Nikki, what's next for you? What are you going to do now?
You know what? I am working on getting my women's certification from my consulting company, and I'm actually working. I've done the outline for 3 more books.
Oh my!
I'm hoping to have. I'm believing that those will be out by next summer, and so we're really, really excited. We're going to take the month of December and just do some writing before tax season starts, and maybe go to the mountains or in some trees and just write whatever we feel, whatever we've shared over the years, and worry about the editing later. And we're really excited about it, because I know that the next chapter and the next books will be even more pivotal and even touch more people's lives, because it'll be more meaningful. It'll just be some guides and nuggets, some words of wisdom from me. And one of the other books is just a book about total forgiveness, because I think that was one of the things that I learned to do through my battle with postpartum depression, is that, whatever hurt, anxiety you have, for whatever reason, you really have to let that go if you want to live life to the fullest. And a lot of times people think that forgiveness is for the other person, but it's not. It's really for you.
It's all for you. You got to get the heart